ለመማር ወደ ትምህርት ተቋም መሄድ ግድ አይደለም። ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ
ራሳችሁን ከኮሮና ቫይረስ ወረርሽኝ እየጠበቃችሁ በቤታችሁ ወይም በተመቻችሁ ቦታ በኢንተርኔት አማካኝነት በኦንላይን ትምህርታችሁን መከታተል ትችላላችሁ።
ካናዳ ከሚገኘው ኢንተርናሽናል ኤር ትራንስፖርት አሶሲዬሽን አያታና ከእንግሊዙ ኢንስቲትዩት ኦፍ ኮመርሻል ማኔጅመንት ICM ጋር በመተባበር የሚሰጡ ትምህርቶችን ተከታትላችሁ በ6 ወር ጊዜ በዓለም አቀፍ ደረጃ ተቀባይነት ያለውን የስልጠና ማስረጃ ባለቤት መሆን ይቻላል።
ልምድ ባላቸው መምህራን እየተማራችሁ ጥያቄና መልስ የክፍል ስራዎች ፈተና መፈተን ክፍል ውስጥ እንዳላችሁት አይነት በኦንላይን ባላችሁበት ቦታ ከናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ
የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ
Yesterday, we explained some important tenets and components of the course, and we have been through the important issues in the first chapter, and then we started dealing with on page 8 of the first reference. If you remember, the first reference is global business today. Global business today. I hope the reference is already shared to you. Yes. Can be like this. I have to maintain your convenience, so I hope you have received all the 4 references. I assume those of you who didn't get it, I think you can contact us. So we had a case in the first chapter. That chapter was an overview section. We tried to see the nature of international business, the stages of evolving in international business, beginning from domestic business to international business, and next to multinational business, and the most serious feature of an international business is global business. The text that we are using is somehow global business today, the evolution of international business, reasons and stages of joining international business. More or less, where I went through all this, and we try to see some important concepts, and I gave you a reading assignment on the relationship between international business, multinational business, and global. Especially, I gave you a reading assignment on the difference between multinational business and global business. Is that, do you remember? So this one, we have seen this, and the levels of entering to international business, or the levels of activities, or the activity level that someone or some country can engage in this perspective is that the lowest level, somehow the intermediate level, and the highest level of playing international business. Of course, the lower business, the lowest level is, you can say, the 0 level. It's the domestic business. Next to that, the international business, the multinational business, and the global business. So we discussed this yesterday, and I gave you an assignment, a reading assignment, to see the difference, especially the difference between multinational business and global business. If possible, try to identify some companies. For example, Boeing is a truly global business, because yesterday I showed you how the different parts of Boeing are assembled by amalgamating from a number of companies across the world. So that's a truly international business. Of course, it has passed that stage, even it has passed multinational business. And then, like, Wal-Mart is another example to that. Anyway, all of them passed all these stages. They initially begin with, most of the time, they begin with some success stories with domestic business. They go for international, and then approach multinational, and finally they will go global. So I don't know that still students are really coming. That's why I gave you some more minutes. You can imagine. I started even late after some more minutes. So please try to avail yourself on time. Still, I am admitting some more students. So anyway, they're coming. We have seen this yesterday, if you remember. We have seen the different facets of international business. It means what are the dimensions of international business. The dimensions, it means some focus areas that we need to think over before joining international business. And then we try to see like one by one, like globalization of markets and globalization of production. This is really the nature of the course. We'll see that. In addition to that, we need to be careful, especially on managing risk on international business. So I have to admit, like Hussein, Martha, and Fikru, so I have to admit all of them. Sorry for that. Advise your colleagues to avail on time. We try to see 4 different parts of risk or types of risk that an international business company to do. And I explained it yesterday. And then especially the management of risk, you know, risk management begins from identification up to handling. It can be through mitigation or through transfer to third parties. So the most important task for managers is to identify risks and handling them, and it may require the implication of third parties like insurance, international insurance, and like that. So that's what's really the role of managers on this regard will be discussed. I already discussed. Why do firms go international? We try to see some 10 reasons, and then we went for the concept of globalization. Sagao is raising hands. Do you have anyone who has raised? I think I see some of you have raised your hands. Let me see. I spent some time yesterday. They are active in answering questions and forwarding the suggestions. So we try to see some 10 reasons that drive companies to go international or global. Even if the nature of or the numerator of the course is international business, these days these 2 terms are really being used interchangeably. So that's why I came to the next slide. So global business in globalization. So the concept globalization, as I have told you yesterday, it's one of the highly value-laden concepts, the highly contested concept like that of sustainability in economic development is globalization. So we can adapt it to the nature of our course, and then when we adapt it, we will see it from economic and business perspective. If you remember yesterday, we defined simply international business or globalization of business or global business simply means globalization of production and globalization of marketing. So global business management, so it means what? Management of global production and global marketing, managing of this global marketing. So generally, when we say globalization in this course, it means that the shift towards a more interdependent and integrated economy. Why? Try to see the case how Mahatma Gandhi advised people not to block themselves from global features and global opportunities, but without blowing their feet. So we have to adapt it, it means. Globalization, it can be used in many issues. It may be some of the concepts themselves drive people to think globally, like the concept of capitalism, the concept of branding, the concept of communication, and the concept of accountability and shrinking of the world. You have to really question this concept. Is the world really shrinking? Yeah? I will ask you this. Yesterday I told you not to accept everything that I'm telling you, question, is it really like that? Is it really the world moving as we are being told by the mainstream media or by magazines? Is the world is really converging? Because shrinking world, is our world really converging or is it diverging? So it's open for discussion and you can really read on different areas. So we try to define globalization, and in that definition, there are 4 dimensions of globalization: the economic dimension, the financial dimension, the political dimension, and the cultural dimension. So what's being done in terms of globalization is, for example, in terms of economic globalization, financial globalization, the trend is towards more of deregulation and additional liberalization issues, even if they have their own challenges. When you talk about cultural globalization and political globalization, still the trend indicates that there is some sort of convergence in political systems and even convergence of culture, like living style, like the modality of families in various cultures is almost like converging. So economic globalization per se has its own manifestations, like economic. When you talk about economics, where we may refer to the issue of production. When you talk about production, there are factors of production. When you talk about factors of production, we are indirectly touching production systems. If you remember, ምናልባት የድሮ ተማሪዎች ከሆናችሁ የምርት ኃይሎችና የምርት ግንኙነቶች ድምር ስልተ ምርት ይባላል እየተባለ ስንማር ነበር። That's what we call it. That relationship should be made globally. So globalization of production and globalization of markets. It's not like what we are saying really. The emerging dimension, they really show a number of critics on this one. Companies are there to hunt our resources, to hunt our own companies. They were saying there are some arguments, and that's why some Ethiopian writers, they are saying it's not globalization, but globalization. See that way. So you have to be skeptical, you have to be pessimist, and I drive you to read more on this regard. Oh, it's time of globalization, let's do it. No, that's not the one that we are teaching you. You have to be critical, you have to think critically on these components, and then you can read more. The other thing is globalization of corporations and industry, like globalization of ownership. We'll talk about corporations, globalization of competition, and globalization of technology. Sometimes globalization of technology is one facet on one hand, on the other hand, it's one of the enablers for economic globalization. We have in this. When you talk about economic globalization, there are some movers. Movers means like impetus, those factors that add impetus or additional force or that add momentum for the facilitation of or for the ramification, for the expansion of global trends like transportation, modernization in transportation, advances in international economic systems, additional budget on research and development costs related to this. These are the movers. Restraining factors are those factors that can serve as tackling forces for the, okay, I have to add some additional, I have to add meat or, okay. So you can read that. So, as I said it, this course, one of the features of this course is one, I said it is a reading intensive. It's really a reading intensive. At least you have to read at least the first 2 books with a nice concentration, which topic that we are going to discuss. The second feature of teaching international business, actually it's a culture in our college, in this National Aviation College, is just to bring more practical more evidence-based issues to the students so that the students can question, the students even they can improve the case, and they may consider themselves, for example, what happened had I been the advisor of Boeing? You have to put yourself as an advisor, as a problem solver on each of the real-world businesses that I am telling you in the class. So Uber, we have seen that. So what's expected from you is how Uber company goes global, how Boeing has entered the globalization of production is a very good example, I say. And then how IKEA market, if you have purchased some products from IKEA, anyone maybe to want to be a partner in Ethiopia, I think it's still open, IKEA markets. I think in Ethiopia, I don't know, there's one company that I don't, it's not necessary to mention anyway, the globalization of marketing at Wal-Mart. Why I focus on production in marketing? Because yesterday we said globalization of business broadly and most safely classified into globalization of production and globalization of marketing. So when you think of like international business, don't think of like importing, exporting. There are a lot of issues that we see. The issue of Dell company and all this. The case of Boeing, I think we can open the material, the first textbook on page 8, I told you. Have you read it? Anyone who has read the case? Have you read it? አነበባችሁትም? Have you read it? ሚዩት ያደረጋችሁ ሚዩት አድርጉ። ለእናንተ ሆነው ጥያቄ ስትጠይቁ ብታደርጉ አንዳንድ የሚዲያ ድምፅ ይሰማኛል። ኦኬ I hope you have read it. In short, what we tried to say yesterday is globalization of production. Initially, Boeing was, you will take a lot of lessons from this. For example, being successful in domestic business is one of the most important prerequisites to have a success story in international or the global business. You can see what Boeing has done. Like 45 years ago, as I said yesterday, majority of the production in Boeing is almost 95% of its production or its parts of the product. I think the Boeing airplane are made by Boeing itself. But later, due to the question of specialization and the issue of searching markets to other countries, Boeing go or wait for international. Can you tell me the reason why Boeing tried to cooperate with other international companies for the supply of its parts? The first one is, number one, the first reason is the saturation of the domestic market, Okay, there may be a lot of passengers, companies in the US establishing that much plant around Seattle and filling the whole states of America by Boeing planes. This is nonsense, So they have to search global. So the first reason is saturation of the domestic market forces Boeing to go for international. The second reason is there are some companies which have excellence in the production of some parts of Boeing. አንዳንድ ጥርሳቸውን የነቀሉ ካምፓኒዎች ይባላሉ። ነገራችን ላይ ወኛ ቀረበባ በኢንጂን በመስራት ላይ በጣም ኤክሴል ያደርጉ ነበሩ። የካቢን ሴክሽንን በመስራት ላይ በጣም የተዋጣላቸው ካምፓኒዎች ነበሩ። Therefore, what Boeing, the management of Boeing has decided is to outsource these parts to these companies. And the third reason for Boeing to go for international was the creation of markets in other countries. For example, if you give some job opportunity for Mitsubishi of Japan, the Japanese may feel what? Oh, Boeing has created this much job opportunity for our engineers, for our technical managers. So why don't we buy from some place from Boeing? And the fourth reason is because of this increasing demand for the service of Boeing. Yeah. Sir, who can tell me the fourth reason? The fourth reason is because there were latecomer airline companies who tries to enter and dominate the rest part of the world. So it's a question of what? Securing market share. And the fifth reason is the history of Boeing shows that the success story of Boeing mostly on its marketing section, especially on design. So they say that, let me give the production and other parts to those other excellent companies, and Boeing decided to focus on design. So the Boeing on design and marketing components, so it will have some more resources in this one. This decision by the executive body of Boeing enables the company really to score successive success stories. However, later, Boeing has faced a number of challenges. One of the leading challenge for Boeing was unable to meet contractual agreements in supplying jets to other airlines, other companies, for example, for Ethiopian Airlines. So, ለምሳሌ በሁለት ዓመት አደርሳለሁ ብሎ የገባውን ቃል በ6 ወር የገባውን ቃል ማድረስ አልቻለም። ምክንያቱም almost majority of the parts of the airplane should come from other companies. So contractual delay has occurred, and it really created a lot of headache to the management body of Boeing. So from this, what we can learn, Boeing has excessively pushed the outsourcing task. Still, by the way, the effect of that is visible on the operations of Boeing. Confidence ematat, አንዳንድ ነገሮች ላይ በሙሉ ልብ ያለ መናገር፣ አንዳንድ ዲዛይኖች ላይ ሉዝ ማድረግ, like you can remember what was happening in the previous years. The other thing is like stiff competitors like Airbus are coming, so like that. So globalization of production, we can learn some success stories for Boeing, and we can understand the limitations why it has really not achieved that much. This is what we're learning. So integrating all this really requires another skill, and that's why Boeing has cost a lot from this perspective. So if I ask you now, the chief advisor of Boeing company, what do you advise for this company? Do you suggest the company to go back to 95% production? I mean, to produce 95% of the parts of that company in Seattle? Or what do you suggest, by the way? These are some of the cases that we'll see. Please read it. It's on page 8 of the first textbook. So the second important case that we have seen is the case of Wal-Mart. Wal-Mart is not a good example for production. It's a good example for marketing, globalization of marketing. So we see that Wal-Mart is established by Sam Walton in Arkansas in 1962. In 4 decades, like what was happening in case of Boeing, there is a remarkable growth on that one. For example, in 2005, you can see it from the screen, Wal-Mart becomes the world's largest retail business, even today, by the way. Even today, more than, I think, some of them are not officially counted, more than 16,000 retail stores. Really managing all these retail stores very difficult. Even 7,000 stores with annual sales of 350 billion sales volume. You can imagine. Even, 15 years ago, until 1991, Wal-Mart's operation was really confined to US And it's well known with efficient facilitation of the merchandising, the buying and selling transaction process, and even the ability to understand the purchasing power of its customers and to have very good human relations or customer relations. Generally, Walmart was a leader, is a pioneer, you can say, in the implementation of information systems to track product sales and inventory. These days, some of you may purchase some nice books from eBay. You know, eBay, I can write if you know eBay. eBay. Do you know that's a very good competitor for Amazon? Amazon Ethiopia. I think there is no Amazon Ethiopia. So you think of think beyond the course and then think of the modalities. For example, why don't I approach Walmart and then we can have a kind of franchising business in Addis? So what is their policy in like that? Okay. ከእናንተ ውጭ በእውነት ይህን አንደርስታንድ አድርጎ ሊተገብረው ስለማይችል እነዚህ ነገሮች አብሮ የመስራቱን ነገር ማሰብ ይቻላል ማለት ነው። So information system, you know, the ability to successfully and efficiently implement information networks was initially introduced by, I can say successfully, I mean, by Walmart. Later, it's adopted by a number of merchandising businesses like Amazon, like eBay, whatever you can say. Especially, Walmart is known with the development of efficient distribution system. That's the design. You can see how the distribution systems of current, at least, companies that are operating in our country, how it's like and how it fits with the current international demand on information quality. So it was one of the first companies globally to promote widespread stock ownership among employees. Employees were owning even stocks. All this helped the company to really mimic or minimize costs. Finally, cost reduction makes the company to be a price leader. Price leadership strategy means you will enter into international market with low prices. So finally, or ultimately, it makes the company to have a better market share. Yesterday, we defined market share can be defined on two ways. The first way is the amount of sales volume among the whole market sales volume. And the second one is the number of customers or the geographical destination that you can have. By 1990, however, the management of Walmart has realized that the market in the US is really saturated. So domestic market saturation. This is what we call a pushing factor. One of the 10 reasons that I have seen yesterday, one of the 10 or the 12, I think, but the major are 10 reasons to go for international is saturation of domestic markets. Then management decided to expand globally. That's really a very good and wise decision. Think of some Ethiopian companies, by the way. I know the course is international business or international or global business. We can speak the Ethiopian case. So think of Ethiopian companies that face domestic market saturation. Is it really saturation or like that? Think of those companies that came to Ethiopia, which one of the factors that we have discussed yesterday. Is it because of the pooling factor, pushing factor, resource advantage, or like that? So think all the things. And then it decided to expand globally. When you think globally, by the way, we have to act locally. Acting locally means at least considering neighboring countries like Mexico. So the first step, always think your neighbors, by the way. That's a very important one. So it's in terms of Mexico. Before that, the Mexicans has a very nice competitor for even that. And then that's what we call the Sephora market. And then Wal-Mart decided to establish a joint venture with Sephora. The history of Sephora, by the way, how Sephora was even much stronger than Walmart. And there are a lot of critics in some handles in Mexico in history. Anyway, that's also related with the sugar policies. And when you have time, read about the success stories of Sephora or Sephora merchandising experience ብላችሁ ብታዩ ማግኘት ትችላላችሁ። So that's the largest Mexican retailer. It doesn't directly enter to Mexico and face a stiff competition from Sephora. Rather, they establish an agreement, a joint venture to work together, not only in the US and Mexico, but to go beyond America and beyond Latin. That's why they are now, if you go to UK, if you go to most European countries, you will get Wal-Mart products. So that's a success story, working jointly, one of the strategies to go for international marketing. However, Wal-Mart had problems it really faced problems by replicating its efficient distribution system in Mexico. Wal-Mart was well known with its efficient distribution system in the US. It doesn't work in the context of Mexico because of poor infrastructure, even highly crowded roads. So products, they cannot be sent fastly, and even lack of leverage with local suppliers, and many of which could not or even deliver directly to Wal-Mart store distribution centers, and some product losses, and that really created a number of complaints among previous customers. So generally, it resulted in stocking problems, and it raised or increased the inventory costs. You know, inventory. You know what's an inventory? An inventory is, it can be so you can see that these are some of the additional success stories. Even prices at Wal-Mart were more 20% above price for the comparable products in the company in the USA. Why is this 20% additional price? Because of the costs related to infrastructure, unlike that. The other thing is there are also problems with merchandising selection, and generally Wal-Mart has learned from its early mistakes, and it tried to adapt its Mexican problems even to other countries, and finally it became successful. For example, by 2005, Wal-Mart has almost more than double of its revenues that's being done, not, you know, with that level. So the Mexican experience helped Wal-Mart to really compensate its losses outside of the US. And in 2006 and 7, it immediately expanded to other 13 additional countries. How Wal-Mart really expanded, that is the case, you know. Our course is to go global, to go international. So when Wal-Mart started its neighboring country, Mexico, the infrastructure and other challenges really they become burden, and it cooked its experience again and applied to other countries, other 13 countries. For example, to Canada, Great Britain, Germany, Japan, South Korea. In these 4 countries, the how question is very important. How Wal-Mart entered these countries? Simply by acquiring existing retailers and then transferring its information systems, logistics, and management experience. This is a very tough and a very wise decision that the management of Wal-Mart has done. When Wal-Mart enters to, for example, Germany, one is there is a linguistic problem. I read that history. So what Wal-Mart did in Germany is it doesn't get free license or it doesn't get a new license like that. The management of Wal-Mart simply approached those weak companies which have really low information system utilization, weak managerial experience, and then deformed logistics system. So Wal-Mart agreed, so let's do it together. We can transform your information system, you can capacitate your management experience, and you can boost your logistics, okay? This is applied to Canada, Great Britain, Japan, and South Korea. So you can see, we will see in chapter 3, the modalities of entering into international business. One of this is what we call it acquisition or acquiring existing retailers. So in other nations, Wal-Mart established its own stores, from this, what you can understand is that there is no one full-fledged formula that could be applied in different countries. So by doing this, for example, by mid-2006, Walmart has more than 2,700 stores outside the US, and it employed almost 500,000 associates and generated almost more than 62 billion. It's not million, you can imagine, 62 billion, almost double of what it's really generating so far. So by growing internationally, what are the benefits that Walmart has acquired? One, it really achieved significant economy of scale. Economy of scale means low unit cost. For unit cost to be lower, low unit cost of just selling the destiny for products. Second, it benefits from the flow of ideas across various cultures, what Mahatma Gandhi has said, no? And then, based on these ideas, behind the curtain, there are a lot of marketing specialists. Walmart redesigns products, and then this one. However, still Walmart had a number of challenges. One of the key challenges is global competition, especially from France, Carrefour of France. If you go for European markets, Carrefour is already dominated the whole world. Tesco, almost the British people, they are really that one. And if you go to Holland, a hold of Holland, fortunately, I purchased and I have visited all these really products, and there you can see, even on package, they have their own competition. And then I remember in Belgium, Carrefour and Tesco agreed not to open branches parallel, you know. So at least they made an agreement that if my branch is this way, okay, Carrefour will be Tamazerable. Especially Carrefour, the world's second largest retailer, next to Walmart, perhaps one of the highest global competitor for that. And because it also operates in 26, I think today, around 44 countries, and it's generating almost more than half of its revenue, not from France, but outside of France. You can imagine, how can a company generate its revenues, almost more than half of its revenues, outside of its establishment? What type of managerial technique, what type of managerial art help companies to do like that? In comparison, Walmart, we have that success story. I hope you can read the rest, and then from this you can really understand a number of things. For example, Latin America, Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, really these days they are becoming a battleground for these international companies. So, as an Ethiopian, if you have a certain company, if you want to go for Europe, remember to really understand that market problem that way. So it's very important. And actually, the things are beyond this. These companies, they form another joint company with their own favorite somewhere, probably on the media or probably whatever. So even the media have their own share. So when you say Walmart, when you say Carrefour, when you say Boeing, things are beyond what we are looking right now. It's just beyond what's being done. There are some approach, some interferences on various issues. Anyway, our introduction for Barcelona, I don't want to go to detail. It's full of, the market, especially international, is full of complexities. It really requires huge chemistry in understanding them. So I don't want to spend much of my time here. So I will proceed to the next sections. While doing all this, the advancements in technology really plays a great role in the growth of a firm. For example, it is I took it from Statista.com or from NetEase. You can see here, you can see like the sales volume. And this is a year, for example, the first ACAS store was opened in 1973, IKEA is really producing this much, like that. Wal-Mart goes global this time, and then tobacco is issue of Alibaba. All this you can read it. By the way, you can see how the role of generally in around 2073 years ago, there were around 9 million online merchants covering 220 countries. Can you imagine? 9 million online merchants that can address more than 220. You can check. I gave you this. What is the data? Just go to this one, okay? Go to this, the source. I already put the source, and then you can get the current stats. Even የአሊባባ ብቻ ከዚህ በላይ ሪቴይለሮቹ ከተወሰዱ ብዙ ነገር ማለት ይቻላል። Now, so what you can learn from this, the advancement in technology really plays a great role. የኢንተርኔት እና የቴክኖሎጂ pulling and then enabling factor ደግሞ በብዛት የሚጀምረው ያው እዚህ አካባቢ ነው። So ለምሳሌ Boeing ወይም Walmart ወይም eBay or I can say Amazon በምንልበት ጊዜ don't consider them, they are already established for many hundred years. It's not like that. For Ethiopians, for example, this is the time that we can boost up really our internationalization of businesses. So you can see that they are not as such far, you know. How many years? Not more than 60 or 70 years. Of course, it's a big age for where you see it from the success story of many business. So then is another case. You can consider your laptop. You can consider your smartphone. It's not just a product of a single country. It's a very እንደውም ሌሎችን አንዳንድ ሰብ ኮንትራክት የሚያደርጉም እዚህ አካባቢ ያሉ እዚህ ጋር ማለት I didn't consider that, okay? You can see that how many companies at least involved in this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
በትምህርት ከፍ ብሎ መብረር ይቻላል። ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ከከፍተኛ ትምህርት አግባብነትና ጥራት ኤጀንሲ ሙሉ ዕውቅናን ባገኘንባቸው በማስተርስ ዲግሪ MBA በስትራቴጂክ ማኔጅመንት፣ MBA በባንኪንግ እና ፋይናንስ፣ MBA በቢዝነስ ሊደርሺፕ፣ MBA በሪስክና ኢንሹራንስ፣ MSc በኢንተርናሽናል ትሬድ እና ኢኮኖሚክስ ዘርፎች በእውቀት ለመቅረጽ የበቁ ፕሮፌሰሮቻችን አረንጓዴ መብራታቸውን አብርተዋል። በነገራችን ላይ በኬንያ ሀገር ከሚገኙ ስመጥር ዩኒቨርሲቲዎች በሚመጡ ፕሮፌሰሮች የትኩረት መስክ ትምህርቶቹ መሰጠታቸው ልዩ ያደርገናል። በምርጥ የትምህርት ስርዓት የተገነባው ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ በመጀመሪያ ዲግሪ በአቪዬሽን ማኔጅመንት፣ በሆቴል ማኔጅመንት፣ በአካውንቲንግ እና ፋይናንስ፣ በማርኬቲንግ ማኔጅመንት አስተማማኝ ትምህርት ይገቢውና ራስዎንና ሀገሮን ይለውጡ። አድራሻ 22 አደባባይ ወደ ሾላ በሚወስደው መንገድ ላይ ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ህልሞን እውን ያደርጋል።
Have you thought that your PC is assembled from products that came from 9 companies? Some of the companies are, let's say, like Motorola, may be owned by, let's say, somebody in the US, but it operates in another country. Yeah. So read this one. I don't want to just spend time on this. So next we will see the evolution of international business, the reasons for the evolution of international business. Really, I don't want to spend much time on this. You can read it. The initial point of departure on international business is the issue of international trade, exchange of products and services across national borders. Why trade is a question. ለምን ሀገሮች ንግድ ውስጥ ይገባሉ? Can you ask me? Have you asked this question? Really, ሰዎች ለምንድን ነው ወደ ሀገር ከአንዱ ሀገር ወደ አንዱ ሀገር የሚነጋገሩት? ኦኬ ኢትዮጵያን ብንወስድ ዴቨሎፒንግ ካንትሪ እኛ አቅም ስለሌለን since you don't have the capacity, we need some quality products from other countries ልንል እንችላለን። What about those advanced countries? They can do everything. Why? So the logic behind trade is the question of advantage. Remember, advantage, economic advantage. That advantage can be classified into 2: absolute advantage and comparative advantage. Yeah. So read this one. This is a simple theory of trade. I think in your undergraduate class or like that one. The other one is the issue of international investment. I hope transferring of assets to other countries, because factors of production, maybe some other pooling factors may be better. Yes. Like the LT policy in Ethiopia, you know, the loss transfer policy, that the government is encouraging some international investors to invest much in Ethiopia. Assume you entered in Ethiopia like 2 years ago. On the first 2 years of operation, you may not have profit, rather a loss of $1 million 1 year, another $1 million the next year. But on the third year, you came up with a profit of $4 million. So, ገቢዎች ከ4 ሚሊዮን ዶላር ነው የሚቆርጡባችሁ? No, previously it was like that. ከ4 ሚሊዮን ዶላር በላይ ሳይሆን 4 ሚሊዮን ዶላር በዚህ ዓመት ያተረፍነው አለ። የዛሬውን 4 ሚሊዮን ዶላር ከ4 ሚሊዮን ዶላር ላይ ታክስ ከማድረግ ይልቅ የባለፉትን 2 ዓመታት 1 ሚሊዮን ዶላር ለሶች እንቀንሳለን። 4 ሚሊዮን ዶላር ማይነስ 2 ሚሊዮን ዶላር net profitaችን $2 million ይሆናል። ስለዚህ tax will be calculated onto this. Is this an incentive by the government? We call it the LT incentive package, the loss transfer incentive package that the Ethiopian Investment Commission has already did a successful job on this. That's what we call it international investment. There may be some pooling factors as well as pushing factors as well. The other thing is international portfolio. Portfolio is something bigger, you know. It may include some projects, it may include some operations and additional investment on this one. With the issue of stock security and bond matters. And the other one is FDI. So there are the issue of capital, technology, labor, and related factors of production advantage or even marketing advantage. So this is through this related this one. So when you talk about evolution, let's talk strictly, you know, when you say evolution is a question of time, evolving, you know, across time. When you talk early traders, it's very important to understand the evolution of trade, by the way, because these days, and advanced yeon hidden belan በምናስብበት ጊዜ በርካታ ቻሌንጆች and even አንዳንድ ጊዜ societal cheating እየመጣ ያለበት ሰዎች በብዙ አይነት ኮንስፓይረሲ ቲዮሪ ታፍነው ስለሚያዩት የኢንተርናሽናል ቢዝነስ ጤነኝነትን ውስጥ አንዳንዴ ችግር ውስጥና question የሚያስደርጉበት ስለሚሄድ አንዳንዴ ወደ ኋላ ብንመለስ የሚልም አካሄዳለና it's good to know that one, the evolution. So the early traders, as you know, ብዙ ማለት ይቻላል, starting from Bible to Quran, from Chinese scripture to Egyptian pyramids. There are a lot of things that can really tell about early traders. So there is a concept what we call an early trade. Especially there is a concept which was called all roads lead to China. It means what previously available on the literature የሚያሳየን China really stimulated the emergence of international trading system. It's not now even in the early time before 17th century. So the whole Asian and then the influence of East Africa and even some parts of West Africa, they have their own remarkable history in the advancement of international business. However, better evidence is found beginning from 17th century, the issue of mercantilism, parallel to colonialism, especially the establishment of the East Indian Company. Imagine East Indian, British East Indian. British is just Western Europe. Indian is an Eastern society. How this name comes, you can see that. Why is they really worry for that one? That's a business because globalization of production. Even the Dutch East Indian Company, the role that the Portuguese and the French that are really using is not. The other one, why do companies go international? ከዛ ጋር ከዓለሙ ጋር አብረው ስለሚሄድ ስለሚታይ ነው እንጂ push factors and pulling factors እያሉ የምናያቸው ናቸው። especially the political stability and political volatility ያሉ እዛ ላይ ብዙ ማወቅ ትችላላችሁ እና በምን ላይ ያበቃል? Just the question of, I hope you have learned in other courses, the question of economic advantage. That economic advantage is called the comparative advantage and then the absolute advantage. So read on that one, because what's comparative advantage and what's the absolute advantage is the justification for entering into trade. Trade managed barasu, and then there are some countries they consider it in the previous time. It is a compromisation of our national interest. Why do we trade? Why don't we produce our own products below ያስቡ ነበር? የፈለገ የተሻለ price globally grow, they may consider that there are policy makers even in the 18th, even in late 19th century, trading with other countries. Shames ከማለት የሚደርሱበት ሁኔታ አለ. We have to self-sufficient, and this type of business philosophy is called the affluent states, where the more self-sufficient states ተብለው ይቆጠራሉ ማለት ነው. The other thing, ቀስ እያለ የመጣው ምንድነው, when the dimension of considering the business really widens among governments and even policy advisors, the world is one resource, you know. Why don't we really consider the world as a single world, as a single nation, and then while simply focus on the advantage of our citizens, they say. So that's what we call it the issue of comparative advantage. Comparative advantage and absolute advantage. In case of comparative advantage, we can see two factors or two issues. One is the absolute pricing issue, and the second one is the opportunity cost issue. So these days, countries operate the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost is the cost that forgone when we allocate certain products than really trading it. You can assume, for example, Ethiopia may be excellent in the production of wheat, while Kenya may be much better in the production of corn. So Ethiopian land and Kenyan land, if they say that this is a land of our continent, why don't we specialize on corn, and then why Ethiopia not specialize on wheat, so that we can really exchange that amount? But the key question is the TOT የሚባል concept, the term of trade. አንድ ኩንታል ኮርን በስንት ኩንታል ስንዴ ወይም አንድ ኩንታል ስንዴ በስንት ኩንታል ኮርን ለውጠው? ይሄ በኢኮኖሚክስ ብቻ ሳይሆን አገሮች ባላቸው ኢንተርናሽናል ኢኮኖሚ በላይነትም የሚወሰን ነው. That's why, you know, the issue of this hard currency really becomes a tough issue, and then that can create a lot of pressure on a number of national banks. So anyway, whatever type of evolution that we are passing, it's very important to understand the international environment, even to have better consideration of how the decision-making process really getting complex across nations, and the different forces that countries are already facing, the controllable and uncontrollable forces, and then the economic forces like the gross national product, the cultural issues. By the way, read it; it's already available on the first text, and then the legal, the physical, and the technology, the pestle analysis, we call it, the political, and like that. አጠር አድርገን ስናስቀምጠው እንደዚህ ይሆናል. this አሁን ያሉ የኢንተርናሽናል ትሬድ ቲዮሪስ መነሻቸው እነዚህ ናቸው. Some of the theories, they emanate or originate from firm level explanation. Firm level explanations are mostly the issue of efficiency, and nation level explanation are mostly the stability and the macro environment that they are reading. እንደዚህ እያለ different questions ይመልሳሉ. For example, the nation level explanation to go for international, it answers one of the key questions. Why do nations trade? It's not an easy question, by the way. Why do really nations trade? Are they really an economic interest? The second question is, how can nations enhance their competitive advantage? Competitive advantage, comparative advantage. The third one is, why and how firms international? That's the methodological question or the strategic question that we are dealing with. The fourth question is, how can internationalizing firms gain and sustain competitive advantage? Sustaining is a very important issue. Sustaining የሚለው question በኢኮኖሚክ ዴቨሎፕመንት ላይ ብዙ እንድትቀበሉት አልፈልግም. ሰስቴይናቢሊቲ የሚለው አሁን የራሱ የሆነ ብዙ መከራከሪያ questions እያመጣ ነው. ሰስቴይናቢሊቲ ከሚባል especially 2019-2020 የሚወጡ new advanced papers ምንድነው የሚያሳዩት agility agile, you know, agile is being most suitable to change እንጂ sustainable ማለት if you have ያለን ብቻ ይዘቀጥል ከሆነ somewhere ልትሰበር ትችላለህ የሚል ሹ እየመጣ ነው። ስለዚህ adaptation to change ነው መሆን ያለበት። It's not sustainability, rather sustainability. Of course, when you go to a dictionary, you cannot get the definition for sustainability. It comes from the term agile. Agile is most friendly, that can be flexible to situation data. So the last part, the question is also firms can gain and sustain, can get adaptive to, better to say can get adaptive to economic or competitive advantage. ከነዚህ ሁሉ የሚመነጩ ወደ 17 አካባቢ የሚደርሱ ቲዮሪዎች አሉ። Why? The question is what? Why nations go trade or why international trade? በመርካንታሊዝም ቲዮሪ የሚመለስ አለ፣ በአብሶሉት አድቫንቴጅ ፕሪንሲፕል የሚመለስ አለ፣ በኮምፓራቲቭ አድቫንቴጅ ፕሪንሲፕል there are issues, በፋክተር ፕሮፖርሽንስ ቲዮሪ and the international product cycle theory. If you have time, by the way, I really encourage you to read all these theories. Why mercantilism? Oh, that's the time of mercantilism. There are a lot of issues that you can adapt for today. The absolute advantage principle, the comparative advantage principle, especially the comparative advantage is a factor proportions theory. And then these are what we call them the classical theories, the classical theoretical categories that can explain models which can back companies to go for international classical theories. Contemporary theories, the competitive advantage of nations. The other one is the 5 forces theory. That's by Michael Porter or Michael Porter. The diamond model is a national industrial policy, and the new trade policy, or what you call the neoclassical approach. We have that. These are the theories that tries to give justification for going for international business, but at the explanations are at national level explanations. There are also theories that are developed based on firm level explanations. If you have time, it's not a must for you, by the way. Like firm industrialization, like the theory of industries and the theory of industrial location, like that was developed by Max too. And the FDI based explanations are then an FDI based explanations are. And now from all these theories, which one of the theory is very helpful for Ethiopian firms, and then which one of these theories that can better explain the Ethiopian context, Ethiopia as a nation to go for international. And then I will ask you, maybe it's a reading assignment, try to get this, which theory can be a better predictor, a better point of departure to advise the international trade policy, for example, for the Ministry of Trade in Ethiopia. And you can have a certain company, and from this at firm level explanation, which theory can be helpful. So read on that one. Anyway, we're good. Previously ያስተማርኩበት ሌክቸር እንደዚህ አይደለም to the point የሆነ ነው። አሁን ግን በርካትም ስላለን ኮሌጁን በዚህ ላይ በጣም አደራም ስላለን የእናንተ ኒድ to the maximum ሚት ማድረግ ስላለብኝ ሌክቸሮችን በተቻለ መጠን ዲቴል አድርጋቸዋለሁኝ። ያው ዲቴል ማድረጉ እርግጠኛ ነኝ የሚያስወቅሰው ያለን ሚንስ ባልሰጥ ነው። ስለዚህ በጣም really to the point የሆነ በጣም friendly and very interactive 3D የሆነ ማቴሪያል ነው የሰጠኋችሁ። really focus on that one. For example, the mercantilism and the new mercantilism ከ1500 እስከ 1800 አካባቢ ያለ ነው። አሁን ምንድነው ይሄ የሚያስተምረን? ምን ይሄ እኛ history don't say like that. It's very important to understand. There are a lot of lessons that we are really taking from mercantilist approach. ለምሳሌ let me tell you. በዛን ጊዜ in that time የሀገሮች ሀብት የሚመዘነው definition of wealth. Oh, this country is wealthy than this country. the measurement for that one is treasury, usually called. Still, imagine, there are some countries and there are still some economists that are really insisting toward this stage. But we need to understand this. Why they are saying this? Because the extreme one the PT coin, you know. Do you know about PT coin? Anyone who has a PT coin, is it legal, illegal? I don't want to tell this in Ethiopia. So focus on that one. በእነዚህ በፒትኮይን እና በትሬዠሪ መሃል ያለ ከባድ የሆነ በመሃል ላይ በጣም እጅግ ብንቆጥራቸው የሚያስቸግሩ ቲዮሪዎች አሉ። So I don't want to spend that. So really focus on that. So በዛን ጊዜ during that time gold was used to solidify national power. Having much gold, that is the meaning and the measurement of national power. So during that time, what's being advised is it is a regions-based instead to maintain trade surplus. But we need to have trade surplus. Please export much than import. So, allocate much budget for export promotion than import substitution. Try to have staff that can work on promoting export than substituting. Later pays are it may not work because we may really work much better on substituting our imports. Import export deficit almost $1 billion. Can you say like that? So balancing, where is the optimum point for export promotion and import substitution? So governments were advocating, their intervention was to achieve more trade surplus. It means here you can see that, please export much, don't import. Is America rasu gana export እየተደረገ ነው አይደለ? You can see that, yeah, almost 15 later. So is mercantilism የምናወራ ከሆነ አብዛኛው it's a issue of Spain, the Spain arts, the Spain, the Portugal and the British issue ማለት ነው. So ከዛ based አድርጎ የመጡ more restriction of import አለ. So when you talk about import restriction ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥም አለ። በዛን ጊዜ የነበረው import restriction አሁን what can we learn from that and what are the lessons that you can draw ማየት እንችላለን. So ብዙም ጊዜ ማጥፋት አልፈልግም በዚህ ላይ. Advantages of mercantilism, advantages of this tree. One, agriculturally self-sufficient economy in the they really increase their wealth, they create market for even the home economy, and they promoted import substitution advantage. In የሰሩ ከካዩ በኋላ አሁን በሚታዩበት ጊዜ ግን ከዛ አልፈው excessive production ነበረ። ብሪቲሽን ወይም ደግሞ ዩናይትድ ኪንግደም በዚህ ወቅት ላለፉት 10-15 ዓመታት ለምሳሌ የእንግሊዝን ኢኮኖሚ ወይም ደግሞ የዩኬን ኢኮኖሚ እናይበት ጊዜ from the strict sense of, let's say, simple food items, more than 50, I think from 55 to 65% የሚያሟሉት ከሌላው የአውሮፓ ሀገር ነው። ድሮ ግን የነሱ አያት ቅድማያቶች they were assuming that importing food ማለት በቃ መሞት ይሻላል እንደ ሀገር ብለው የሚያስቡ ኢኮኖሚስቶች advisors የነበራቸው ሀገሮች ናቸው እና how things started getting dynamic. These are some drawback አላቸው. Finally the drawback is simply a zero-sum game. You have to open. ከዛ ቀጥሎ የመጣው የኢንተርናሽናል ቢዝነስ trade or for international business ትልቅ remarkable point ብሎ የሄደው the theory of absolute advantage የሚባለው ነው. It's you can say that the birth of economics የሚባልበት time ነው. By Adam Smith, he talked about the question of invisible hands, and in his work it's called The Wealth of Nations, and they criticize the previous theory. They say mercantilism is not good because it weakens regions in the long run, and it really enriches few while it's really impeding the rest of the economy. So he said it's better rather than wrangling and rather than grabbing everything, better specialize. It's better for countries to specialize based on their natural endowments and natural strategies. So it's on its own advantage and really disadvantage. the theory of comparative advantage by David Ricardo, and still there is a model which is called the Ricardian model that makes countries to be an autarky state. An autarky state means a self-sufficient state. Autarkism means I don't need from you. I am an autarky state. Like the autarky state that I don't need to be. Yeah, like a proudness principle of mercantilism time. So David Ricardo, in his work, it's called the principle of political economy and taxation. Like me, import export but countries should really exercise free trade. I mean, assumption is on it. We have to really exercise free trade. How free is still in question, because he said there is a general, mathematically a general equilibrium place. Equilibrium means the one that can benefit everybody without creating a disadvantage on the other. So according to this theory, it can be a region, let's say East African as a region, West European as a region, or it can be a country, let's say Ethiopia as a country or Germany as a country, should specialize in the production of those goods that it produces more efficiently. You know, it's a question of efficiency. Let that country really focus on most efficiently, let's just buy the goods that it's left efficiently from other countries. Proposition is over that. Comparative advantage, he say, over others in producing at low relative opportunity cost. It's not less. The previous one, theory of absolute advantage, it's an economic cost. No, focus what you call it the real cost, whereas theory of comparative advantage is an opportunity cost. So this allows countries to focus on specific products and to specialize on that one. And it also helps countries to really invest much on research and development issues. However, one of the limitations of the comparative advantage is it's really neglected exchange rates. So I think you can read on this one. Absolute advantage and comparative advantage, there is a very good example. It can be a very nice tool even for the analysis of modern trade policies. You can see region A and region B, or you can say country A and country B. Region B has absolute advantage in car production. Can you see this? Region A has absolute advantage, of course. This given is what? Let's say to make one car, region A sacrifices 3 tons of paper. The region A sacrifices 3 tons of paper. Why? 15 divided by 5. We are really explaining the Kenyan corn production and the Ethiopian wheat production. Which one should specialize on which product? Region B gives up 2 tons of paper. You know, to make one car and the makina lamasrats, country A or region A, ሁለቱም ፔፐርም anyway ሁለት ሀገሮች አሉ ሁለት ካንትሪዎች አሉ ሁለት ሀገሮች አሉ ሁለት ካንትሪዎች አሉ there are 2 countries and there are two countries and 2 products. That's just for a model purpose now. Product ሀገሮቹ ማን ናቸው? ሀገር ካንትሪ A and ካንትሪ B ናቸው። ፕሮዳክቶቹ መኪናና ፔፐር ነው። 1 car and 1 ton of paper, no? These are the values, the opportunity cost. For example, country A ከካንትሪ B ምንም አልፈልግም ራሴ አመርታለሁ ካለች ባላት የኢኮኖሚክ ካፓሲቲ ማምረት የምትችለው አሁን ባለው ካፓሲቲዋ 15 hours and then 5 labor hours ልትፈጅባት ይችላል። ካንትሪ ቢ ደግሞ ልክ ለዛው ላይክ 4 እና 2 ካፓሲቲ አለ። አሁን እዚህ ላይ በምናይበት ጊዜ country A በሁለቱንም በማምረት absolute advantage አላት I mean country B has an absolute advantage in car production of course to produce one car for let's say labor hours or for resource are produce ለካንትሪ A ግን 15 ነው የሚፈልገው ማለት አንድ መኪና ለማምረት ካንትሪ A 15 units of resources ይፈልግ ካንትሪ B ግን 4 ነው so country B has an absolute advantage in car production አንድ ton of paper ለማምረትም country A 5 units of resources ይፈልግ country B ግን 2 units of resources ስለዚህ በስሞል unit of resources መኪና ton of paper የሚያመርተው country B ነው so we can say that country B or region B has an absolute advantage in car production ማለት ይችላል in both production ስለዚህ በሁለቱም ላይ absolute advantage ያለው country B በምን ምክንያት ነው ወደ ንግድ የሚሄደው እኔ ከማንም ጋር ልግድም ራሴ absolute advantage ብሎ ሊቀመጥ ይችላል ያ in absolute terms ካየው እንደዛ ነው ግን ምን አለ opportunity cost የሚባል ኮንሰፕት አለ ለምሳሌ consider opportunity cost that's the most important thing in this case to make one car ለምሳሌ አንድ መኪና ለመስራት region A gives up 3 tons of paper ያ ይሄ ይቅርብኝ እኔ መኪና ላይ ብቻ ነው መስራት የሚፈልገው ብሎ ካሰበ አንድ ቶን ኦፍ ፔፐር በ5 ይሰራ ነበር ነገር ግን መኪና አመርታለሁ ብሎ በማለቱ 15 ሪሶርስ ጠየቀው ይሄንን 15 ሪሶርስ ዩኒት ኦፍ ሪሶርስ ተጠቅሞ ግን 3 ቶን ኦፍ ፔፐር ማምረት ይችላል ነበር ምክንያቱም አንድ ቶን ኦፍ ፔፐር ለማምረት 5 ዩኒት ኦፍ ሪሶርስ ነው የሚያስፈልገው ግን በሙሉ መኪና ላይ ስለሚያወለው you can divide it 15 ሲከፈል 5 it will be 3 so region A gives up 3 tons of paper how 3 እንዴት ነው የመጣው to make one car our focus is car here to make 1 ton of paper region A gives up 3 tons of paper to make one car 3 tons of paper how 3 15 divided by 5 the denominator the one that will give up is that one region B's to make one car 4 divided by 2 it will be 2 region B gives out 2 tons of paper now opportunity cost ምናይ ከሆነ 3 ton of paper ማጣትሽ ሉዝ ማድረግ ይሻላል ወይስ 2 ton of paper ሉዝ ማድረግ I'm sure all of you will say lose ስለሆነ የምናወራው ትንሽ ነገር ሉዝ ማድረግ ይሻላል it's better to lose 2 tons of paper yeah 2 tons of paper so region B is still better on this one when making a car ስለዚህ ምን ኮንክሉድ ማድረግ እንችላለን from this we can say that when making a car we will choose the one with lowest opportunity cost to make one car which one has lowest opportunity cost region B so we can say B has a better comparative advantage in the production of car ስለዚህ መኪና A ከሚመረት B ቢመረት እንላለን ማለት ነው ግን ሁለቱም ሀገሮች መኪናም ይፈልጋሉ ፔፐርም ይፈልጋሉ now to make a ton of paper now our focus is here to make a ton of paper ስለዚህ 5 divided by 15 it will be 1/3 2 divided by 4 it will be 1/2 1/3 lose ማድረግ ይሻላል ወይስ 1/2 1/3 is just 0.33 1/2 is 0.5 ስለዚህ 1/3 lose ማድረግ ይሻላል who is 1/3 country A ስለዚህ country A is better in the production of paper ስለዚህ B was better in the production of car whereas A is better in the production of paper therefore as an advisor we will say that country A you better specialize on the production of paper and allocate all your resources for paper production whereas country B will be advised to focus on the production of car ግን ሁለቱም ይፈልጋሉ ሁለቱም የሚፈልጉት ምንድነው? ሁለቱም ሀገሮች ፔፐር ይፈልጋሉ፣ ሁለቱም ሀገሮች መኪና ይፈልጋሉ። ይሄን እንዴት ፉልፊል ያደርጋሉ? ይሄን ፍላጎታቸው thanks for trade, thanks for international business, they can make an exchange. So region A will specialize for paper and region B for specialized car. The quickest ትልቁ ጥያቄ እዚህ ጋር አሁንም ሀገሮችን እያወዛገበ የሚገኘው ምንድነው? terms of trade, we call it TOT by the way. terms of trade ስንት ይሁን ነው? terms of trade ስንት ይሁን ማለት ነው? አንድ ቶን ኦፍ ፔፐር በምን ያህል መኪና እንላወጥ ወይም አንድ መኪና በምን ያህል ቶን ኦፍ ፔፐር እንላወጥ የሚለው ነው። ይሄ በጣም በርካታ አናሊሲስ ሊጠይቅ ይችላል ግን as an introductory course it will be in a point. And this is what call it what? The theory of comparative advantage. Comparative advantage consider የሚያደርገው ምንድነው? opportunity cost ነው, not real cost. Opportunity cost means ይሄን ሪሶርስን እዚህ ላይ ከማውለው እዚህ ላይ ባውለው is a kind of አንዱ ሪሶርስ በሌላኛው ሪሶርስ መግለጽ ማለት ነው። ሶ ቲኦቲ ምናልባት ትሬድ አግሪመንቶች ላይ የገቨርንመንት እርስ በርስ ያላቸው ሪሌሽንሺፕ በሌሎች አዘር ፋክተሮችም የሚወሰን ነው ማለት ነው። ይሄ ሁለተኛው ኤግዛምፕል ነው። ሁለተኛው ኤግዛምፕል ራሳቸው አንብቡ። definitely you will have a better understanding. I already explained that. If you have any problem please let me know. This is really the logic behind entering into trade. There is also an exercise. This exercise መስራት አለባችሁ። next time መቼ ነው የምንገናኘው? In our next class definitely የነዚህን የአምስቱንም ጥያቄዎች መልስ ማግኘት አለብኝ። እኔ ደግሞ መልሱን ሶሉሽን ይዤ እመጣለሁ። ምንድነው ኢሹ? ሁለት ሀገሮች ናቸው፣ ካንትሪ ዋይ ኤንድ ካንትሪ ዜድ የሚባሉ ሀገሮች ናቸው። ሁለቱም ሀገሮች ስንዴና በቆሎ ያመርታሉ። ሁለቱም ሀገሮች ስንዴና በቆሎ ያመርታሉ። ሲያመርቱ ግን የሚያመርቱት አገር ውስጥ ያለው ኮንሰምፕሽን ከግምት ውስጥ አስገብተው ኦፕቲማል ኮምፖዚሽን እና ይሄ this is called the production possibility curve, we call it the PPC ይባላል። production possibility curve ወይም production frontier ይባላል። የፈለገ ቢሆን ካንትሪ ዋይ ከዚህ በላይ ማምረት አትችልም። ለምሳሌ በህግ አመርታለሁ ካለች if the country says I have to produce here on this one, the country say I have to produce 0 wheat but 60 units, 60 trillion or billion tons or million tons ማለት ይችላል። ቁጥሮች ይከለው ወይም ደግሞ wheat corn 0 ይሆንብኝና wheat ብቻ ላመርት ካለች ማክሲመም ግን A is what you call it the allocative efficiency ይባላል። In economics we call it allocative efficiency. Allocative efficiency means አገሪቷ ማክሲመም አምርታ ለራሴ ኮንሰምፕሽን የምትጠቀመው 30 ኮርን እና 30 ዊት ባመርት ነው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ any point on this line is possible. ለምሳሌ እዚህ አካባቢ 10 ምናልባት 50 ሊሆን ይችላል። እዚህ አካባቢ ደግሞ ምናልባት 25 ወይም ደግሞ 35 ሊሆን ይችላል። so this the country production curve ነው። ለኢትዮጵያ እስኪ ሰርች አድርጉ what in a certain commodity ለኢትዮጵያ ወሰዱና how do you guess that can we really grow the production possibility quantity for that? የብሎን እስኪ estimate እና exercise በማድረግ ይኖራችሁ። country Z ደግሞ definitely ሁሉንም ሪሶርሶች አሉ wheat ማምረት ላይ if the country allocates all its sources for the production of wheat it can produce 80 units of wheat. But if the country wants to really focus only on corn, even by producing 0 levels of wheat, it can produce only 40 units. However, the allocative efficiency for that country is 40-20. አገሪቷ ኮንሱም የምታደርገው የሚያስፈልጋት 40 እና 20 ነው። ይሄንን ኢኮኖሚክ ሞዴል ይዘን በቲዮሪ ኦፍ ኮምፓራቲቭ አድቫንቴጅ given points A and B are consumption levels የሆኑ these levels are made through allocative efficiency decisions that we will leave this concept for economists. Which country has absolute advantage in which crop? ለምሳሌ country Y በየትኛው crop ላይ ነው absolute advantage ያላት? Country Z in which crop does absolute advantage? Which country has a comparative advantage in which crop? For example, which country has a comparative advantage on corn? Which country has a comparative advantage on the production of wheat? We have to answer this. Okay, here can these two countries benefit if they enter into trade? Really? Can they benefit? If yes, how? If no, how? You have to answer that. How much should be the terms of trade? Okay, whether nigri hidu katabala, whether nigri will be balanced. Country-wide, let's focus on wheat production. Country say let's focus on corn. ሁለቱም ሀገሮች ግን ዊትም ኮርንም ይፈልጋል። ስለዚህ country-wide, no, I produce corn, I need wheat from country Z ብትል አንዱን ኩንታል ኮርን በምን ያህል ኩንታል of wheat ወይም አንዱን ኩንታል wheat let's say በምን ያህል ኩንታል of corn let's say በ1.5 ነው ምናምን በስንት ይቀያየራል የሚለውን አስብ። That's what we call it the terms of trade. So that's what, how much should the terms of trade be? ለምሳሌ how much will be the benefits that each region, let's say country, you can say you want each country require with a term of trade. ለምሳሌ አንዱን 1 quintal of corn by 1.5 quintal of wheat ቢቀያየሩ ቤኔፊት ይኖራል፣ ሊጠቃቀሙ ይችላሉ። ይሄን ደግሞ በተቻለ መጠን በግራፍ አሳዩ ነው። እነኚህን 5 ጥያቄዎች የመለሰ ተማሪ እኔ እሸልመዋለሁ። On our next class I will have an award. ከባድ ነው ማለት ሳይሆን ኢንተረስቲንግ ኬዝ ነው። በደንብ እዩት። ባይ ዘ ወይ ሲምፕሉ እንደው everybody የገባ ስለሚፈተፍት ነው እንጂ በትሬድ ማተርስ this is the logic behind trade. Remember, what's our topic? Our topic in the course is evolution of international business. We have seen the mercantilist stage, the absolute advantage stage. Now we are on the comparative advantage stage. It's really functioning in the whole on the whole global concept. So what are the drawbacks of this theory? Definitely have to read this. And the other one is the relative factor endowment theory. This theory says it doesn't matter how much absolute and relative advantage you have. Rather, what determines us to enter into trading of a certain commodity is the natural endowment that we have. So they really focus on factor endowment. This factor means production factor. It can be raw material, it can be labor, it can be technology or other skills. So read this. That's one advantage. The Veron's product cycle theory is not as such much interest for you, but I have to tell you what the theory says. And the new trade theory and the Porter's diamond, the 5-force diamond theory, he say the competitive advantage for nation, not for comparative advantage. Remember, please don't forget comparative advantage and competitive advantage. These are 2 different terms that you have to really understand. Comparative advantage and competitive advantage. Competitive advantage is mostly related to the attributes and some environmental attributes. We call them factor endowments. These factor endowments, it can be like raw material, it can be weather condition, it can be location to port so that sea transportation will be cheaper to really go for international. So read this one. I hope you'll enjoy it. That's the issue of factor endowment. So Michel Porter is really well known on many issues, especially on strategic management course. This person is a word mentioned. በጣም ብዙ ባለውለታ ፕሮፌሽናላችን ነው ማኔጅመንት። ዳይመንድ ያለው ምንድነው? Entering into international business is highly determined by these factors like the ability of these endowments, the strategy of the firm, the demand conditions, and related and supporting industries መኖር አለመኖራቸው ይሆናል ማለት ነው። እና በእነዚህ ፐርስፔክቲቭ አይተን ነው ወደ trade, why nations to go trade የሚለው ነው one of the biggest questions to talk about evolution. And the justification ከነዚህ from these 4 perspectives ተነስቶ የሚሰጠው. So the new trade theory is really focused on economy of scale in other international relations. I hope you can do that. I already put the solutions for your exercises. Don't worry. አንዳንዶቻችሁ ከፊታችሁ ሳይ በጣም ደንግጣችኋል ይመስለኛል። ይሄን ካልኩሌት አድርጉ ምናምን ስል በርግጥ I know you are very good on this, but እናንተን ብዙ ማስጨነቅ አልፈልግም. Try to do the exercise. Absolute advantage ያለው የትኛው ነው? Comparative advantage. So የመጀመሪያው ጥያቄ በዚህ ላይ ለመመለስ ሞክሬያለሁ ግን please before looking the answer try to correct your own solutions and give mark for yourselves, okay? Comparative advantage በዊት and በኮርብ ካልኩሌት ነው ማድረግ አይቻልም። ኦንላይን ክላስ ስለሆነ ነው እንጂ ኖርማሊ ነገሮችን ለእናንተ ኢዝ ለማድረግ ብዬ ነው እንጂ ይሄ like kind of assignment የምሰጠው ነበረ ግን I have to consider you the situation where you are and where all of us are. So I have to do that. And then ይሄን እዩትና ያልገባችሁ ነገር ካለ please is exercise ላይ ያልገባን ነገር አለ please tell us እንድትሉ ፈልጋለሁ። Can they benefit from trade? This question is always a tricky question. It depends, no? It depends on what? It depends on the terms of trade that these two countries will enter or sign on. So what are the benefits from trade? Let me say if the terms of trade is 1 corn is equal to 1.5 wheat gold, በየትኛው ሀገር ይጠቀማል የትኛው ሀገር ይጎዳል ያው በእጄ ለመጫጫር ሞክሬያለሁኝ ከዛ ስክሪን አድርጌ ነው ስክሪንና ስካን አድርጌ ለማስገባት ሞክሬያለሁ ያው እንደው ምንም ነገር ሳይገባችሁ የምታልፉት ነገር እንዳይኖር ስለፈለኩኝ ነው. So this is all about the first but still the most important chapter of the course. That's the end for today. If you have any question, suggestion or comment, you are most welcome. Please read and please critically think over all what we are doing and try to focus on that. So in our next class, it's one-day class, I hope it will be chapter 2, understanding the international business environment. So in chapter 1, at least we have to avoid those blurry issues. Simply blah blah international trade come out really we have to have solid background. We have to we really define the facets of international business. We try to explain the stages of international business. Of course, trade is one component of that. And then the other thing is the different terms and terminologies and the different practical or real-world exercises that the case of Dell, the case of Tesco, IKEA, and all these markets. And then how can we really, what we can really learn, for example, from Wal-Mart history and many other companies. And we have seen that closer to 10 billion online traders or merchants are there. So are we really pursuing on this one even in the future? And what are the pros and cons of practicing this with that? So the next thing is we will getting more serious. More serious means before joining, remember the course is what? International business, the last strategy. To devise a strategy, the first thing is to understand your environment. To understand the environment where our business are operating. So this will be done in our next class. If you have question, comment or suggestion, please you are most welcome. I'll give you 5 minutes more for questions, suggestions or doubts.
ልዩነት መፍጠር ዓላማችን ነው። ዓለም አቀፍ ተወዳዳሪ መሆን አለባችሁ። የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ ጥራትና ደረጃውን የጠበቀ ስልጠና በመስጠት ብቁ ዜጋ እያፈራን ነው። በፍላይት ኦፕሬሽን፣ በበረራ መስተንግዶ፣ በቲኬቲንግና ሪዘርቬሽን፣ በሆቴልና ቱሪዝም ሙያዎች አሰልጥነን ተወዳዳሪ እናደርጎታለን። ኮሌጃችን ካናዳ ከሚገኘው ኢንተርናሽናል ኤር ትራንስፖርት አሶሲዬሽን አያታና ከእንግሊዙ ICM ጋር በመተባበር ዓለም አቀፍ ዕውቅና ያለው ስልጠና እየሰጠ ይገኛል። በፍላይት ኦፕሬሽን በበረራ መስተንግዶ የምንሰጣቸው ስልጠና ከኢትዮጵያ ሲቪል አቪዬሽን ባለስልጣን ሙሉ ዕውቅና አለው። አድራሻ ከጎላጉል ታወር 22 አደባባይ ወደ ሾላ በሚወስደው መንገድ ላይ የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ ህልሞን እውን ያደርጋል።